Hello, welcome back to the Off-Grid family. Today we're doing quite a fun little project. Basically, I'm making a laser. Well, it's going to look like a laser. It is going to be a laser. Right, let's try and start that again. It's going to have a 6,000 milliwatt laser. But the rest of it is going to be cosmetic. So it's going to look like something out of something like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's my inspiration. And basically all it's going to do then is have a laser going through it. So it's going to be hollow with lots of bits on it. I've got like NeoPixels, which are NeoPixel RGB LEDs, which are individually addressable LEDs. So you can change their colours and make them do special things and so on. I'm hoping to have smoke machines and stuff on it. So it looks really, really impressive. But all it is just basically a little laser. And this is going to be for my new series that's coming out hopefully in a week or so. And what that's going to be is we're going to experiment with different things. And what we're going to do is we're going to fire a laser at them and see what happens. Some things might react differently to other things. They might all react the same and it might be an absolute flop. I truthfully don't know 100%. But what I want from it is kids to sort of, and adults, to message and say, try this, and I'll try whatever I can and we'll see what happens. If it works really well, then we can make a whole thing about it and we can have a look at maybe the science behind it and whatever. So as I say then, it's going to be a 6,000 milliwatt laser going through a hollow tube, and then on the outside of the tube we're going to have LEDs, lights and all sorts of other stuff to make it look really impressive. Okay, so we're going to turn all of this to a laser. Well, something that looks like a laser anyway. Because I knew I was going to be making this laser, I spent about 2-3 weeks just finding all bits and pieces that I could take apart that we didn't need or that were going to charity or being scrapped or whatever, that would look good inside a laser. And you'll be surprised how much stuff has good stuff inside it, like hard drives and even drum kits. I found bits of an old drum kit that I used, but motors, everything. And I just basically filled a box with it until I was ready. And today's the fun day where I just get to take it out and start letting my imagination go wild, because all this is in essence is a hollow tube with loads of stuff around the outside to make it look cool. So let's talk you through this. We've got at the top, this is just out of an old lantern. That's old hard drive, drum kit. I don't know what it was. This was part of a conduit of some kind, just for piping and so on. An old motor, this and this, the discs came from an old hard drive, and the shaft and everything came from an old kid's metal detector. This bit of tubing here is actually electrical tape wound round a piece of metal pipe. I'm not sure what it was, but it just fit everything on. These things are to make to look like they're going to be like heat fins or something, but these bits here are just off the back of an old computer. I had loads of them lying around, so I just zip tied them on, and I'll cut the zip ties off and they look alright. Okay, so I want to fix them somewhere like that, just so that they look like they're maybe cooling fins or something like that. They've got no actual function. But I thought if I put them like that, and then I've got an old PC heatsink and fan, which I'll plonk on the top. Where is it? Here. And I'll just chuck it on like that and just have that so the fan will work. But it just looks like a cooling element maybe. A lot of this build is going to take, a little bit of imagination, I think. Right, they're glued in nice and secure, and I'll eventually glue those wires in, but the fan's going to sit, I want it a bit further forward, I think. I'm not sure yet, but basically it's going to look something like that. This is an old submersible pump that was in ice cold water when it overheated. 3 minutes into me owning it. Absolute piece of rubbish. However, the wire on it looks okay, so we can actually just connect that and make it look a bit, a bit impressive, let's say. Wrap it round something. I don't know. I'm going with my instincts here.
thought I'd plonk it in like this, so it's sort of slightly raised up, but it just looks like it's got some sort of function. Again, it has no function at all. It is just a piece of wire that I've cut off, but I think it will look alright once it's done. Just something like this, just so it's raised up. It looks, it just looks different, doesn't it? It doesn't look like a boring, just a piece of wire. Now, this is a piece of the lantern I actually got the front cone bit from, and I'm just going to connect it something like this, just for some reason. It just looks like it maybe contains some electronics that we need to make the laser work. It amazed me during this build how many things just seemed to clip together and connect together with very little effort, and that made it look really good. And it was just all stuff I'd randomly found that I was just going, oh, I'll see what this looks like here, and it just seemed to work. This is part of an old CCTV camera that I bought from a charity shop that I drilled a hole in. This had never had electronics in. The charity shop were conned out of money by a Chinese company, so I paid full price for it knowing that it had nothing in it, but I thought I'd use it for this anyway, and it works out to be a nice stand for the whole laser. I went a bit forward here because I got a bit over the top, so let me pause it here and tell you what's here. It's basically a torch at the back there, connected to the actual CCTV camera bit. It's just the external part of a torch that I then stuck to this, and then I put a headphone bit on it. At this side, that's the innards of the battery connected to a drum base thing, and it just means it holds in place, but I've got a little bit of spring at the back so I can actually focus it. I also stuck the heatsink and fan on as well.
Okay, so we're at this point so far, and obviously all of this is cosmetic. There is nothing going on at the moment. This fan does work and will work, and then basically it's just bits and bobs of all sorts of things. This is an old torch, this is an old lantern, like camping lantern, an old CCTV camera thing, it's all just bits I found. So, at the moment it's all just to look like a frickin' laser.
Okay, so there's more wires and stuff on it now. The top bit is just bits of the old CCTV and pipes and speakers and bits and bobs. Some of it I change later on, some of it I don't. But I think it's getting there. It's looking more and more like a laser. This bit, the see-through bit at the back, is just an old packaging from something. I've got no idea what it is. But it's getting there.
These are out of old optical drives. I'm not sure if it was a video player or something like that. But they have these. Let me show you. If you slowly take them apart, they've got this bit on the back, and it looks incredible and technological if you add it to your projects. If you carefully tap the centre core out, then you're left with a magnet, not very strong, but I'll keep it, and this bit, which we're going to take off next. Okay, so as you see, that is most of the cosmetics done. There's still going to be a few bits of touch up, and I need to colour in things like the hot glue where it's gone white on black things. I'm just going to paint it with a Sharpie. But now I want to test the laser, make sure we've got the alignment right, make sure the focal distance is okay. Obviously a laser of this design isn't supposed to go this far and still be this effective, but we're just going to mess around and see what we can do. So let's test the laser next. Right, first test with the laser. Actually in place but temporarily placed. Yeah, that works.
I added some EL wire, and I'll show you how you wire that up in a short that I'll put there. This is just a radial light. You get them for some RC kind of things, and basically it's just a programmable thing that can, the lights go round in a spiral. You can decide, different programs just by pressing a button. I had some left over from a project from years and years ago, so I thought, why the hell not, I'll add it. And this is some cracking bit of camera work, yeah, thank you.
Right, so I've started wiring up all the near pixels, and all the ones that are going lengthways I've wired together in parallel, basically so that we can have a trailing effect, and then the ones that are downwards I'm going to wire up together but independent of the main sort of string, let's say. Okay, that's the second set of LEDs, the near pixel ones, all the ones that aren't part of the row going this way. And obviously it looks really messy. I don't mind that at all, part of the laser charm, but I will be
using some sort of wire cleaningness. What am I trying to say? Wire organising. I'll get from my 3D printer in a minute, my old one. Okay, there you go. It's just a little bit neater, but I want a lot of that sort of wires going here, there and everywhere on it. Okay, so that is the laser pretty much done, the physical aspect. I haven't done very much of the electronic side of things yet, but that front end always looks like it's drooping, but it's not at all. How weird is that? Right, sorry. So what we're going to do now is I will talk you through all the different pieces, and basically I'll start off by telling you what I made them from, the bits of junk that I used, and then I'll go through where the electronics is and what that does. So we'll start at this end, where the laser comes out, and we'll work our way to the back. Okay, so this is part out of a motor, as I explained a little while ago. This is a reflecting bit out of an old lantern. This is off a drum kit, believe it or not, this little washer. This is a piece of conduit, I've got no idea what it's from. This is an old part of an old motor. This bit here is off an old kid's metal detector. We then have discs from a hard drive. These pieces that run the whole length are just poles that I found from places, bits of piping and so on. We've got these bits, which are the backs of a computer, the bits that stop dust coming in, but you can put your sound card and graphics card through. A heatsink and fan, which is obviously from an old computer somewhere. Right, moving on down, we have the base of what I think was part of a drum kit years and years ago. This bit here is from a shake torch, one of these ones that you shake up and it charges the capacitor. It just stopped working, so don't know why. Then we got wire from an old pump, another tube, an old speaker. Moving down again. This was from a CCTV camera system that I bought from a charity shop, but some scummy seller had tried to sell at some point a CCTV camera system that had no electronics in it, and it was not targeted as a dummy camera. It was sold as a real camera, but it had no electronics in. So I bought it from them knowing it was, had nothing in, but I thought I could use it for bits, and I have done. This is a bit of the old lantern that I was talking about a minute ago. Again, this piece here is from the CCTV camera setup-y bit. This here is an old thing from an ear defender, from ear defenders. One bit fell off and got lost. This is the only bit I had left. Again, another piece of the CCTV system. Another one of the motor bits. This here, this see-through plastic, is actually the torch, the shake torch. I just cut the end off. We've got some just random wire wrapped around it. This is an old metal detector handle, one of the kid ones. And then as we come down here, this is the only real bit of a laser, and that is the laser module from my old laser. And basically that will just be turned on and off. Right, let's have a look at the actual electronics in here. So there is quite a bit of electronics, but all like costume jewellery almost. None of it does anything apart from the laser. There is some NeoPixel LEDs going all the way down the centre, and they will flash and do various things. And then in various places hidden are different NeoPixels that won't be connected to that, and they will be individually addressable, etc. So I can have them different colours. We've got some EL wire at the end here. Inside this thing here, and inside the actual barrel of the laser, there is a smoke machine. Well, homemade smoke machines. I've got a video of that up here, if you would like to see that. And basically, they will fire smoke out each end as it's powering up. The one here will block the laser, so that will only allow smoke out at the end, as if the laser's gone pew, and then smoke comes out of it. But this one here will have smoke coming out of it a lot. And this fan then sucks it in and blows it around and stuff. There is a radial light at the front here. I think it's green. I can't remember. It's been a couple of days since I used it. And so that will be spinning round, and then other lights will be lit up, and it will just look all jazzy. But as far as that is, that's all the electronics in this. Basically some lights and some smoke, and then the laser. It's just to make it look good. Do you know what I mean? Right, this is going to be the first full run of the laser. It's not completely full because I've got a few other bits and bobs to do and some more lights to
set up and everything, but let's give it a go now. Right, lights off. And this is only running example Arduino code for the NeoPixels. I will be coming up with my own version eventually. Can't see a thing in these. There's that. And there's that. And now the laser. Can we even see it? Smoke's too thick for the laser to get through. So the laser works fine like that. Second there's any smoke, and it's gone. That's incredible. Okay. So that tells me I'll have to use the top edge of the smoke, but not the bottom. I can have the bottom one on, but not when I want the laser on. Right, I'm just going to see how square that is. Yeah, that'll do. Right. I'm so shocked by the smoke actually stopping that laser. I knew it would disrupt it, but I didn't think it would literally block it completely. Right, okay. Let's change this then slightly. Okay. We need to move where the smoke is at the front because I liked having the smoke, but that front smoke machine is a lot more powerful. It's got pure 99.9% glycerol in it, whereas this one's actually got fog juice, it's called, so it's a lot less dense, let's say. Okay. Right, so all in all though, pretty successful first try. There's all these side lights here that will have a different separate thing going on, but I need to, they'll have probably just a gradient colour shift, and then the actual laser's going to go zoom, 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 and then fire obviously. But I thought if they're all doing the same thing, it would be too distracting, so I wanted them, all the ones going down to have one route, and then all the ones going down, or just singular, to, you know, have a different, whatever it's called, a different pattern. I also connected up some EL wire. So that's the EL wire. Okay. That's where I'm going to have to leave it for today. I've been working on this for about 2 weeks and I need to get this video out, otherwise I won't have anything to go out on Monday. But I hope you did enjoy. I've got quite a few bits ready for next week, hopefully, but it should be coming out, the next bit should be coming out next week. I've done a few bits of the controllers and things like that, but I'm hopefully going to have a nice control panel and all the coding done and stuff. David's already helped me with a bit of the coding, but I'm going to try and do a lot more of this myself. Whether I can or not, or whether I have to rely on him, I don't know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already subscribed, I really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 10,000, and that would just be awesome of you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.